Good morning, Year 3-4. Now today we're going to be looking at 6 different countries in the continent of Africa. Now that's quite a lot. I've asked you to do 2 true or false questions about each country. Now because we're reading so much, if you want to pause the video of me reading after each country, go answer the 2 questions and then come back. That might be a little bit easier for you, or you can read it the whole way through and then answer the questions at the end. It's up to you. Now the first country we're going to be learning about today is called Côte d'Ivoire, also known as Ivory Coast. Now what can you see in the picture? You see gorgeous big elephants and a little baby elephant relaxing in the water. What's this person you can see in the background though? I wonder what he's holding. It looks to me a bit like a gun. So maybe this is, we've learnt this word before, a poacher, somebody who hunts animals. Now let's read. Côte d'Ivoire means Ivory Coast. The name comes from the elephants with their huge ivory tusks that once lived there. These big beautiful elephants roamed with their families, making sure their babies always walked safely in the middle of the herd. When foreigners first arrived in Côte d'Ivoire, they killed as many of the elephants as they could and sold their ivory tusks. Now more elephants are dying as their rainforest homes are destroyed, and many more are still being poached. The big, loving West African forest elephants are now nearly extinct. Elephants grieve when they lose a family member. Now grieve you might not have heard before. It just means to allow yourself to be sad. Sometimes it's important to be sad. When they lose a family member, covering their bodies with leaves and visiting their graves for years and years afterwards. Imagine elephant graves. Côte d'Ivoire is the biggest exporter of cocoa beans in the world. Maybe your favourite chocolate bar is made from cocoa that grew here, so that must be what this is, cocoa beans. This is what's made, or turned into chocolate that we eat. Maybe next time when you eat a chocolate bar you can look and see if it says where the cocoa came from. Now the first 2 questions on DB Primary, the true or false questions, are on Ivory Coast. So if you want to answer those questions you can pause the video now and then come back for the rest, or you can keep listening. The next country we're going to be learning about is called the Gambia. Now it's a bit strange having the word the in the title, but that's the way the country is called. Now if we look at the pictures we can see lots and lots of different coloured beautiful birds flying everywhere, up in the branches, flying here, lovely blue birds as well, lots of different colours. It's like a rainbow of birds. This tiny country runs along the banks of the river Gambia. Now the banks don't mean it's not money banks, it's just the side of a river. And there live not only Gambian people but also Gambian birds, nearly 600 different sorts. There are herons, pelicans and flamingos, guinea fowl, falcons and hoopies, paradise flycatchers, sunbirds and drongos. Heard of some of those birds, but some I'm not sure. I might look up on Google to see if I can see pictures of them. And tiny honey guides who communicate with humans. Communicate, that means to almost talk to. I wonder how these birds talk to humans. Gambia is the smallest country on mainland Africa. It is no more than 50 kilometres wide in most places. Gambia has more than 60 stone circles that are nearly 2,000 years old. They are believed to be built around the burial mounds of ancient kings and chiefs. Wow, that's interesting. We can see lots of different types of birds at the bottom as well. Lovely green bird here. Honey guides spend their lives looking for honey. When they spot a beehive, they quickly fly to a person and whistle, calling for them to come break open the hive. People are quick to follow because everyone loves honey. So that must be where they get their name from, honey guides, because they guide people to the honey. They're very clever of the birds. Now if you want to pause and answer the next questions, that's okay. The next country we're going to be learning about is Ghana. Now I wonder what this picture is. It looks very busy. I can see lots of umbrellas and lots of stalls and lots of people. It looks to me a bit like a market, almost like Witness Market, but a bit sunnier maybe. Can you see? Ghana has the biggest market in the whole of West Africa. Thousands and thousands of people jostle their way through the walkways, buying and selling clothes and fruit, computers and cloth, dried fish and shoes, and everything else under the hot, hot sun. There are no set prices in the African market. The trader tells you what they want you to pay, and it's up to you to argue the price down. This is called haggling. It's fast and furious and full of jokes. I don't think you do haggling whenever we go to Tesco's or Asda. Kente is the name of a special Ghanaian cloth woven from silk and cotton. Once only members of the royal family of the Ashanti Kingdom were allowed to wear it. Now anyone who's rich enough to buy it can wear it. Kagenti Market has around 10,000 stalls and more than 44,000 people work there. It covers 12 hectares. That is as big as a small town. Wow. Now the next country we're learning about, lots to learn today, is called Guinea. Now we can see in the pictures lots and lots of gorgeous patterns and gorgeous colours used. I wonder what these are. I think these might be types of cloth as well. People in Guinea love buying bright and beautiful cloth in the markets. There are so many colours and patterns to choose from. There is cloth printed like animals, cloth printed like flowers, and cloth printed with famous presidents, expensive cars, and the best mobile phones. People make it into fabulous new outfits for work and for weddings. So I think the people of Guinea, they must make a lot of their own clothes. How exciting is that? The most popular cloth in Guinea is batik. Batik dyeing was invented in Indonesia. European travellers learnt it there and brought the technique with them to Africa. It is made all over the continent now. It must be very popular. Now the next country today we're going to be visiting is Guinea-Bissau. Now you've heard the word Guinea before and the word Bissau before, but this is a different country. Babies are tied onto their mothers' backs with cloth everywhere in Guinea-Bissau. Tiny little newborn babies, small babies sucking thumbs, big babies wearing shoes, all are carried by Mama when she is cooking, or carrying water, or riding to the bank on the back of a motorbike taxi. Wow. And if Mama is resting or in the office, well, there is always a sister or a cousin to strap baby onto. So obviously the people in this part of Africa like to use cloth for everything they possibly can. Along the coast of Guinea-Bissau are mangrove swamps, tropical places where the sea turns rivers salty. Mangrove trees are the only trees in the world that can grow in salty, muddy riverbanks. Off the coast is a beautiful group of 88 islands called Bajagos. Each one is like an island paradise where cute little pig and hippopotamuses live. Now we can see in the picture this must be maybe Mama or a cousin or a sister with quite a big baby on the back. It must hurt your back carrying a baby around all day on that beautiful piece of cloth. I think it's probably special knots to make sure that the cloth is very secure and the baby's not going to fall. Now the final country we're going to be learning about today, I know we've had lots of countries today, is called Liberia. Now if we look at the picture, it looks like a postcard almost. Beautiful scenery with a nice little flag and a boat. It looks very, very peaceful. Oh, can you see? Liberia is Africa's oldest democratic nation and was never conquered by Europe. It was settled by African Americans nearly 200 years ago. For centuries, African people have been kidnapped by Europeans and forced to go and work in America, Europe, and the Caribbean in slavery. Years later, a group returned to Africa and started their own country, Liberia, which means land of freedom. Liberia has a special handshake, the finger snap handshake. Look for it online. Oh, I might have to go do that. In 1995, Liberian George Weah was named African, European and World Football Player of the Year, the first footballer to ever achieve this. In 2018, he became the president of Liberia. Wow, a footballer became the president. So that's 6 countries we have learned about today. That's a lot of learning year 3. So if you want to read through again, or you can use just the text that I put on DB Primary to read through again, and you can answer the 12 questions. There are 2 questions for each country, true or false. If you want an extra challenge, you can try and fix the false questions. Good luck.